Okay, part 6, final part, I swear. So for the text display, it's basically, it's your code. All the glyphs, the game font, character index, nothing special that I changed. So here's a player score that displays, that uses a flyweight, and so it has a glyph list, and then all it does is draw it. Yeah, and then it updates the string, which pushes it to the list. Alright. So then Sound Manager, I already showed you, has a strategy pattern. And then it's called, so like for the flea, called in his what are hers? Initialize function, and then the stop, it's called in the destroy function. And it's the same with the other ones. And the score manager, Singleton, and it has all the scores, and I show, and so it gets the current player score, and then it updates it on the display. And so basically the score is updated in the player, and then the player gives it to the score manager, which then adds it to the player, and then it contacts the display manager and updates the display for it. And then I have two objects. They're the player health display, and they're the score display. And so for the player health, it has a list of game objects called player lives, and then it adds it to that list. And then when you add a life or you lose a life, it'll pop it, or it'll make it appear in the next position. And then for, I already showed the player score. Yeah. And yeah, I did not get to the high score. If I did, I'd do a linked list, doubly linked list, where, you know, fopen, you read each line and you put it into a node, and then you link them and then display them, like this player score. And then you'd probably have other info like size or something, so you could correlate with the mushroom field, and then that would bring up the black mushrooms that would act like blocks. And then after the player, so after the game ends, so in this game manager, so after the player loses a life, it would end the game, and then in there there'd be a function that would record the high score. It'd put it in that linked list, sorted, and then it'd kick out the last one, and then print the file. Printf to the file, yeah. And so, yeah, the last thing is how, I guess, in the game manager, or in the first scene. So, basically, you initialize the attractor, and that initializes all the managers. And so for the display, sound, and user, it'll initialize the strategy for each. And then when you switch over to a tractor, or switch over to one player, turn sound, it'll reset the wave, so set the wave back to 1. Then it'll switch to the player 1, which deletes the user, and then creates a little spawn effect. And initialize player, and then it's the same for going back to the attractor mode. So all I do is press 2, and I'll go to player mode, and yeah. So thank you so much for teaching me things. I'm really excited to learn in the engine sequence as well. So you have a great morning, Andre. Thank you.